guys, it's Mrs. Tutela here. I thought today we could draw a simple monster or an alien. It's pretty much an easy line drawing. So you are going to need a piece of paper, a pencil, maybe an eraser. You can have a Sharpie marker available if you want to use that. And depending on if you want to color or paint them, you can have crayons or watercolors actually. Okay, so let's begin. We're just going to begin with simple shapes and we're going to do a close-up of this monster. So he's really going to be big. So instead of seeing his arms and his legs, we are just going to see his head. And like I said, he's going to be big. So we are just going to do a curved shape. This is going to be the top of his head. So I am lightly drawing with my pencil. And that's a good shape for the top of our monster. Now monsters come in all different sizes and shapes. And some of them are very silly looking. So we're going to kind of make our guy look silly today also. I am going to give him big eyes. So I am going to put an eye this area, and his eyes are going to go a little bit above his head. He's a monster, so we don't have to put our eyes inside of his head. We can change things up a little bit. So I'm going to draw 2 circles. I'm going to get them to be about the same size. I'm going to put one like so, and then I'm going to come on the other side and I'm going to do the same thing. Now I like to draw lightly so I can change things if I want to with my eraser. But the good thing is this is a monster, so he doesn't have to be perfect because they don't even exist. So those are pretty good. I got 2 pretty much the same size eyes, so I'm going to leave those where they are. Now I'm going to erase the inside of his head because this isn't going to belong there anymore. Like I said, his eyes are going up above his head. So I am just using a simple eraser and I'm going to make those disappear. So then now I can work on the other part of his eye. This is just the round eye shape, so we want him to be able to see. So I'm going to put another circle shape and I'm going to do like a half a circle. It's a nice curved line, and I'm going to try to do the same thing on this side. So this would be the white part of his eye, and then I'm going to, well, you know what, we'll put it like here. This will be his pupils. You know what, actually, I think I'm going to make it a little bit lower. I'm going to have him looking down. He's going to be looking down, my monster. So it's just a curved circle. All right, so let's give him some personalities. You can see these are his pupils and he's looking down. So let's see what his mouth is gonna look like. I have all of this room for his mouth. If you'd like to do a nose, you can. I don't think I'm going to do a nose today. So I'm gonna do a slanted line for the top of his mouth. Now I'm gonna make him a happy monster. So I am just going to do a half a circle, like a curved line, for the inside of his mouth. I'm going to give him a triangle for his lower tooth. Now he's got pointy teeth, but he's not a scary monster. He has a really friendly personality. And those are his teeth. And I think I'm going to leave his mouth extend over a little bit. I kind of like that. So I think one more thing I think I should do, because this is a great big shape, is why don't I put something on the top of his head? We can give him some antennas or hair. So I'm going to give him a curved line and another curved line. And then see how they're all starting from the point. And then another curved line up. You can do 3, you can do 4. You don't have to do them at all. I think I'm going to curve another one. Sometimes I like to turn my paper. It's easier to do curved lines. And then I think at the end of them, I just might do like a little teardrop shape. Just to give his, I'm going to say it's hair. I'm not sure it's going to be antlers today. Maybe he just has some fun hair shape going on. And then I am pretty pleased with my monster. So now I can make some decisions. If I'm going to just color him, I would go over all of my lines with my Sharpie marker and trace over him. If I want to paint him, I might go over it with a black crayon, because if you paint with a black crayon, it keeps the paint from going out all over the place. But if you're going to paint, make sure you use heavier paper so it will absorb the paint and the water. So let's see, I'm going to move on to this guy. And as you can see, I started doing him in black crayon. So all I was doing, I colored in his pupils. Then I traced over his eyes and his head shape already. And as you can see, what's really fun about doing monsters is you can add all different types of shapes. For teeth and smiles, you can do wiggly shapes and lines, curved lines. And now he is all set with the black crayon. So let me show you an example quick. If I was to paint him, I'm just going to get my paints available here. They're just watercolor paints, nothing special. They're very good to use. I'm getting my paintbrush wet. And let's say I'm going to do, let's make him red. I'm kind of feeling like he could be a really cute red monster. And since it's watercolors, you just want to go right ahead, hold your paintbrushes down low. We need to have those puddles to spread out. I'm using lots of water, but I do have a thick paper so it won't get too wrinkly and I won't get holes in it. That's why the important part of this is to make sure you have thicker paper. Now where his smile is, I can go right over that. See how the crayon, it lets you go right over with your paint? It won't stick to it, which is kind of a neat. That's called Watercolor Resist, because the crayon is made up of wax, so it won't stick. Now those are kind of his teeth, so I don't want to get paint on his teeth. So I am carefully going around those. And I'm going to go carefully around his eyes. If it's easier for you to turn your paper while you're painting, feel right ahead. Feel free to do that. We'll add some more red paint carefully between his eyes. Oh, he is a red silly monster. I like to watch their personalities come up. Everybody has such a fun, different personality. That's why it's a great thing to do these little monsters with. So I'm going around his other eyes, and you can see the puddles. I'm just spreading them out. Take your time. You took your time drawing him, so we want to make sure we color or paint him in very carefully. I'm spreading it out. Okay. Do the bottom. This is all of his head. This is my monsters. And you can also think of names that you want to call your monster. It's always fun to give them names. I'm going to get a little bit more red paint so I can spread it out. And you can notice now that he has some color on him. And his teeth are showing up really nice. I'm going all the way off the paper. Water to spread them out. Some spots are darker than others, and that's okay. Take your time again. Have some fun with it. Painting is so fun. All right, I think that looks pretty good right now. These are like his eyelids. So I'm gonna make those red. I think it's kind of silly. I don't have a name for this monster, but I bet you guys could come up with some great names. See how that one's really light? I need a little bit more paint. So I'm just dipping into the red very carefully, and I'm gonna spread that out. You will also notice I had some fun with this one. I drew in with my black crayon some eyelashes. This monster's got some really pretty eyelashes. Okay. And let's see, should we color his eyes? What color should we make his eyes be? How about green? So this is his pupil. And so this would be the colored part of his eye. And obviously, you guys know that trick. If you paint, you switch colors, you need to switch. And rinse your brushes really well. We don't want any of the red into his green eyes. And I colored his pupils in black. So if I get a little bit of the green paint on here from his eyes, that's okay. You won't even notice. That's the nice trick with the crayons. That's why I like to use the black crayon when I paint. Okay, he looks pretty good. Now I also think we should do something with the background. Let's pick one more color. I'm gonna use blue. All right, I'm gonna spin my monster because my hand's gonna get all into the red paint, and I don't wanna do that. So I'm going to turn my paper, my monster, upside down. So this way, as you can see, my hand's not dragging into the paint. That's another good trick to know. And also, I clean my brush really good because I want this background to be blue. So he's coming really nice. Looks like he's outside with this blue background. Kind of looks like the sky, doesn't it? I think it does. And again, a little bit of water and the paint, dipping it right in, just using the tip of my brush. Hold your brush down low so you have lots of control over it. If you have water puddles, just go ahead, spread them out. I am painting right on top of the counter, and this is just watercolor, so I can just wash it off, so it's okay if I get a little bit on the outside of my counter here. All right, and see how I'm going right over his eyelashes and they just pop right out? Pretty fun. And again, if you don't want to paint, or if you don't have paints right with you, that's okay. You can color him in. Crayons are great to color with, colored pencils. I'm spreading out my puddles here. Oh, he looks really great. All right, I'm gonna spin him around so I can see what he looks like. Oh, he looks like he's outside in the summer sky. Very, very cute. Now, I don't want to pick him up because he's wet from the paint. So I am just gonna let him dry. Now, if you wanted to do his teeth a different color, you can do that. You can paint them yellow or any color. All right, so I'm gonna put him aside. I'm going to pull out another one I was doing. And actually, make sure this is dry. Okay. You can see with this guy, I made him have really round eyes. I started tracing him in Sharpie as carefully as I could on my paper. I gave him more antlers, just 2 sprouts. And I did an oval shape at the top. Now you can see, I'm sure, his teeth are much different. So I have some different monsters going on. So I wanted him to have a big smile. So it's just a curved line. His teeth are rectangles. And I just kind of turned them a little bit at the edge. Quite a fun there. Go around and I turned him. So he's got really big teeth. Oh, he's funny. And then I think I'm going to go just back here. I'm turning my paper. So you can see the inside of his mouth. And then I'm going to put some little curved lines there. Little tiny U shapes. So that shows his cheeks. So here's another monster. And since I did him in Sharpie, I'm gonna close my Sharpie marker. I'm gonna get my eraser and I'm going to erase the pencil lines. And like I said, if you don't have paints, that's okay, because crayons are great for this project also. I'm gonna just brush off some of my eraser. All right, Mr. Monster. Oh, I really like him. Okay, so this guy, we did red, the blue background. So why don't we change this one? Great thing about crayons is you have so many colors to choose from. So I'm looking right up here at the top. I like the purple. I think I'm gonna go purple. And I am going to do his body first because that's the biggest shape. So when I color, I like to go around my outside edge of my shape first, because that needs to be done more carefully, right? Because I don't want any of my purple to go into his eyes. So I go carefully around the outside edge first. Then I can go a little bit faster on the inside. So this is his body. Okay, and I don't want to get any purple on its teeth either, do I? No. Or around the bottom of his mouth. So see how I go slower? And I go around his mouth. And you can see how these guys have different personalities. They're so fun. And again, I am turning my paper because it's easier for me to color in certain yellow. Let me give my little friend here some yellow eyes. And I'm gonna go nice and slow around those edges like I talked about. And then I can go faster in the middle. And he has one eye that's colored. He is silly. And here's his other eye. You could color his teeth. You can color the inside of his mouth. Maybe I'll do that. I wonder if I have a pink. Let's see. I'm gonna color the inside of his mouth pink so you can see why I did that second line back there. And that's really making his big teeth stick out. I'll turn in my paper, just so I can carefully get up in him, little corner of his mouth. I keep calling him a him, so I wonder if it's a boy monster. Looks pretty great. I really like him. Maybe I'll do this little tennis. Make those yellow too. And then to finish it off, you can do crayon all the way in the background. So then the only thing that would be white is his eyes and his teeth. That would really stand out nicely. So as you can see, these are some of the monsters. Different size, shapes, teeth, mouths. These are all pretty happy. This guy's a little more serious with his mouth isn't open. He just has the curved line. So I hope you have fun and create your monsters, and you can show me what you guys made. All right, take care. We'll draw together soon.